Hello everyone and welcome back to our next talk. It's all about the digital aftermarket, and ZF has an ambition to serve its customers with the solution of the future. And the question is, how can ZF support fleets and workshops? What can they actually do? So it's about you, and in this talk we want to present you solutions for the real-time data in order to avoid road accidents or improve uptime. And we also want to talk about the cooperation with Goodyear. So welcome again. And I also want to welcome our special guests for the talk. And this is, first of all, Florian Freund. Hello, welcome. You are Global Head of Connectivity Solutions. Welcome. Susanna Perrier, Head of Sales and Operations in Europe, Middle East and Africa. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
And Benoit Dizar, do I say it right?
Almost perfect.
Almost perfect. Okay, I'm not from France, but I have a couple more minutes and then I will say it right. You are the product line leader from trailer and cargo connectivity. So it's also about connectivity today. And Susanna, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the road transportation, because it changed a lot, right?
Yes, correct. Thanks for the question, Miriam. So indeed, our new habits is changing a lot as consumers, which mainly driven by the tremendous increase of popularity of e-commerce. And these new habits really brought a revolution in the logistic ecosystem and in the transportation. If we take ourselves as example, let's say 8 years ago, it would be totally fine that you wait 1 to 2 weeks for your TV to be delivered once you order it online. Today, we want everything to deliver same or next day. We want to know in real time, immediately, where is the shipment. And a lot of consumers don't realize how much this brings pressure on the logistic industry, on the drivers to deliver almost day and night, transport companies to bring this transparency also, and also to the cities to move the warehouses from outside the city to inside the city, so they can deliver to you as a consumer much quicker. So this also creates new set of challenges that we need to address very urgently today.
Sounds like a lot of pressure, but is it not the easiest way that we as consumers change our habits?
Good question. The question, who wants to go back, let's say, and do things that now they do it differently? For sure, now the consumer, we as consumer always say we need to be more sensitive to the CO2 emission, to respect the environment. So we are feeling more and more responsible. But also we as company, as ZF, we need to help during this digital transformation, and how we can help the fleets, the workshops to be really more sustainable and really to be up to this revolution to manage the expectations of you as a consumer.
Absolutely. But how do you see the technology and also the digitalization providing the solutions?
Yes, as Philippe mentioned earlier, there are a lot of downtime in the industry, a lot of insufficient energy going, that we could really address it. And I truly believe that during the digitalization and the connectivity of the vehicles, we can bring with this technology a lot of benefits to the fleet. I will give you a few examples. So the digitalization could help the fleet to be more efficient and reduce the cost. What does it mean? The fleet will become more transparent because the fleet could share the position. The driver also could be protected more, because with the digitalization, we could help the driver to respect the resting and driving time, which is very important to protect the drivers. We could bring also a lot of transparency of where is the vehicle, where is the trailer, where is the cargo. And at the end, today, 1 out of 4 trailers still driving empty in Europe. this is a lot of lost, we called it empty mileage, because fleet don't know how to plan very well. They don't have the visibility. So with the technology, with the digitalization, we can help the fleet to plan better and to reduce their CO2 emission, so to be much more sustainable. This is just very few examples of how digitalization could help the whole industry and the fleet.
But then we are also talking about big data, and now we want to talk more about the challenge, actually, big data. And for that, we have another special guest. I think he is in the UK. Gal, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me. My name is Gal Bilkouz, and I'm responsible for the ZF Digital Venture Accelerator. I'll tell you about the exciting things we're doing with data and about the Digital Venture Accelerator.
Happy to have you here. I have a statement for you, and I am interested if you would agree with the statement, the future of mobility is data.
That's a really good question. The short answer is yes, and let me explain why. If you look at the vehicles today, they have over 100 million lines of code, of software code. And you ask yourself, what does this software actually do? Well, it processes data. Every vehicle system today is a sensor, has sensors in it, and that data is processed by the software. And when you look at the potential of that data, it can tell us so many things about the state of the road, the state of the vehicle, the state of the driver. And by collecting this data, we can gain tremendous operational efficiencies for fleets and safety and driver assessment. So absolutely, being able to harness this huge amount of data that's coming from all the vehicles is going to provide tremendous economic benefits to fleets and, of course, in the aftermarket.
And what does ZF do to meet actually the challenge of big data?
ZF has been on a digital journey for quite a while now, and we really try to figure out how can we bring change and transformation quickly internally inside our company and help our partners as well. What we saw is that the most successful entities are actually startups. They figured out how to move fast, how to bring about compelling, unique selling propositions, or USPs as we call them, to the market. And we asked ourselves at ZF, how can we do that too? So we've created the Digital Venture Accelerator, which is a way for us to operationalize internal startups that can bring innovation and change faster to our customers and partners. In fact, with some of those, we even partner with our customers to bring solutions to market faster. So really, if you are interested in a partnership or you're interested in seeing how you can bring about transformation faster, we're happy to talk with you about our Digital Venture Accelerator. It's really exciting. And in fact, a lot of our digital innovations that harness the data that we talked about earlier are all coming from our Digital Venture Accelerator. And we'd love to share that with you.
Thank you. So talking about DVEC, what does it actually mean and what is the task of it?
ZF is fully committed to helping our customers and partners harness this huge amount of data with tremendous information in it that is coming off the vehicle. We have complete end-to-end solutions for utilizing this data, starting from extracting it from the vehicles, from the different vehicle systems, being able to bring it into the cloud, into our platform, which is open for use by all our partners, having value-add algorithms that help you turn that data into valuable information and knowledge about your fleet, about the conditions of your vehicle, about how your drivers are performing, and then feed that into being able to make decisions about scheduling maintenance or any other actions that are required to improve the efficiency. So we've been investing tremendous amounts of money in putting this capability in place for our fleet and aftermarket customers and partners.
Thank you so much, Kral, and I hope that we next time see each other here in Germany. That would be nice. So thank you very much. And Florian, talking about DVEC projects, are there any of those actually tailored to the aftermarket?
Yes, for sure.
For sure. Tell me about it.
In our aftermarket, we are having different customer groups. And what we want to do as ZF, we want to create for and with our customers value-adding digital services and products. This is really our roadmap. when it comes to digital topics. And in the aftermarket, for example, we are working with our customers, the workshops, or we are working with our customers, the fleets, and different kinds of fleets, different kinds of vehicles that ZF is really active in bringing innovative techniques to those customers. And just like Gael described, we asked ourselves, how can we accelerate in creating digital services and products? Yeah, this was the main question. And just like Gael described, he used the word journey, he used the word data harnessing. Yeah, that are really the topics. And we looked to the Silicon Valley, for example, but also to Berlin. How are the startups are doing it? What differs the corporates like ZF from the startups? And we wanted to accelerate, and this was the reason why we created a so-called venture accelerator internal system, where we are saying, when it comes to data or digital, we want to accelerate those innovative productions for services and products, really in a cross-functional venture accelerator, where we are bringing in colleagues in ZF, really all over the world together, ignoring where they are having their organization, bringing them simply together only for the target to bring our customers digital services and products. Yeah? And I brought one with me today where I want to go a little bit deeper in it, really for the aftermarket. It's called Bus and OEM Connectivity. And with Bus and OEM Connectivity, we are looking into how we can serve our bus customers and our OEM customers to bring them connectivity. Yeah? And for that, for example, we released this year our first really scalable product, ZF Bus Connect. And with ZF Bus Connect, we want to bring connectivity and bring data really as a digital service to our fleet customers, and also not only to bus customers but also to OEM customers, like specific customers, the OEMs that are creating in a smaller size buses. They are searching really for someone who helps them to bring the value of data to their customers, and we want to help those customers with our value-adding digital services. And what we are seeing here is really our product and service, digital service, ZF Bus Connect. It is focused mainly on the fleet customers. Yeah, just like when you're driving around with a bus, and those industries are searching for digital solutions. Yeah, they are at the beginning of it, and we want to help them. Yeah, and it's all about the topic: how can we make their operation more lean? How can we help them to make their operations safer, the passengers? How can we increase those safety for those passengers? And also about our environment, how can we reduce fuel, for example, for classical buses, or how can we reduce the energy consumption of, for example, electric buses? And we can do that with the power of data that we harness in those vehicles. And this is, I think, the great story. The journey begins for us. We as ZF, and also in the aftermarket, we want to be a front runner together with our customers to create value-adding services, data-based and digital.
It's so nice to hear you talking, because I can feel the passion in your eyes, and it's super nice, really. Benoit, saving fuel actually is a major topic for buses, but what about commercial vehicle fleets? Are they what they actually need to be more efficient?
Very good question, and actually fuel is also a very important topic that we consider for road transportation and cargo transport in general. Market research has shown that more than 20% of the total cost of operating a truck or truck trailer combination is related to fuel. And we know how I would say Susanna was referring to it, our profitability of our customers, the fleet, the transporters, is actually challenged because of the pressure on that industry. So any even little improvement on fuel consumption can lead to very significant positive impact on the profitability and the bottom line of such company. Fuel is an example through solutions that are available today on the market around advanced telematics or connectivity solutions. For instance, we can offer economical and ecological driving programs to driver that, based on the data collected from the vehicle, can lead to fuel consumption reduction of up to 5%, translating in direct increase of profits for the fleet. This is one example of, I would say, in-vehicle optimization. We can also talk about connected tire wear, predictive maintenance. But the strength of our solution is it does not only address the vehicle in isolation, but we also consider the fleet as a whole in its totality. And that's where the next round of optimization and improvement in the efficiency occur, is when you can actually automate the process for the fleet, then you can optimize the dispatching of the vehicle, when you can optimize the utilization of the vehicle. Susanna was talking about 25% of trailers still driving empty. This is an example of things that can be improved when you look at the fleet holistically.
Susanna, the solutions are primarily under the brand Trend6. So what can the customers actually expect? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Correct. It's a Trend6 brand today. Trend6 is focusing on the commercial vehicles. What does it mean? Truck, trailer, driver, cargo. And our mission really is everything we provide on digitalization. We would like to address the fleet operators, the rental companies, and the OEs to support them to also have successful operations with their own customers, because we are helping them to be more efficient, saving on their own costs, on maintenance, on operations, reduce their CO2 emission, which is a big thing today, and addition to help them, as Benoit said, to have predictive maintenance, to help their drivers to drive better. So this will help them also on sustainability. Trend6 has 200,000 connections in Europe today. This is really a very big player and very big base of customers with 1,600 customers. And customers, I'm very proud personally of, because I'm the face a bit of the customers in Europe, that customers see us really as extension of their own operations. We are so much important and vital for them that they see us as extension and big necessity.
And do you have a recent example of an industry cooperation or partnership?
Yes, so for sure Trend6 want to go a bit out of this traditional focusing on only fleet management system. And today we see that data, because you were talking about data in the beginning, data is everywhere. Everyone is talking about data. The problem is that we're all working in silos. No one is connected to another one. Fleet operator today cannot get any advantage of this data revolution because we are all disconnected. So we decided really to go to partner with a key player in the industry, which is Goodyear on tires. So we could give to our customers the best of two worlds. They don't need to anymore to make any compromises. They will have one telematic device, so they install one hardware instead of two hardwares, and they have the access to the vehicle data, our fleet management system from Trend6, and the best of Goodyear, which is the tire pressure management system. And we wish really to go much more in such kind of cooperation, because this will help the fleet. Only this cooperation, to give you example with fleet, helped our customers to save up to 3% on their operations and 50% on the incidents of the roads, because they have now the solution to be much more predictive. And that's our aim and how we would like to help the customers and the industry in general.
Nice goal, yeah, because it's all about partnerships, for sure. So that's really interesting, and I would say let's have a closer look to the partnership between ZF and Goodyear. so Benoit, we already have products. We already have products that utilizing big data. We are still at the theme big data. Can you explain us the role it plays in broadening the horizon of telematics?
Absolutely. Gal was referring to it earlier. I think it's the progress, the rapid evolution of the technology eventually allows today to reach levels that were unachievable so far in terms of data processing, data storage, about very diverse and very large data sets. So it's about processing, but it's also about what do we do with these data. And typically one element that we try to inject in our solution, which is also based on the evolution of data solution, is the ability to provide reliable prediction to fleets so that they can automate some form of decision processing. It can be a decision of a fleet operator, of a dispatcher, a mechanics, or a driver. Coming back to the fuel topic, for very long, we and other players have been providing solutions, reporting, post-the-facts type of analysis that help the fleet to review and revisit their fuel strategy, reducing fuel consumption over time. What we're offering now to the market goes one step further. It's a good example of this automated decision making I was referring to. We actually collect and consolidate data from the vehicle, from the driver, but also from the gas station, including the price of the fuel, but also about the destination. Where is that particular truck driving? When is it supposed to arrive at a certain location? And by combining these data and running our unique prediction algorithm, we actually manage to provide in real time recommendations to the driver on where, when, and how much diesel is he supposed to put in his tank. All of that, so that at the end of the month, we manage to minimize the fuel, not only the fuel consumption, but the fuel cost for the fleet. So that's one example that, of course, we look at, I would say, repeating for other decision making. It can be about to find the safest parking place, the best route, or the best moment to take a break, to take a rest for the driver.
Mm. And what does ZF offer in this area?
We offer these type of solution already today,
okay.
But another example, for instance, of which provides which really relies even further on the differentiation of ZF is remote diagnostic and technical health of the vehicle. Really differentiator and benefiting from, I would say, the strengths and in-house expertise of ZF in vehicle technology, in connectivity, but also relying on the very rich and vast network of aftermarket partners. Typically, we offer today solutions both for trucks and trailers, allowing to remotely diagnose vehicles from any European truck brand, from trailers as well. Really allowing to facilitate the decision-making process remotely for mechanics about, okay, is it the right time to perform a repair? Can I actually avoid a repair by acting now instead of waiting? Overall, optimizing the maintenance schedule and reducing the downtime for the fleet. So that's I think a good example on where the combination of our internal expertise and the partnerships that we have in the aftermarket can play a significant role to avoid downtime for the fleets.
Partnership. Florian, how do you think the future of telemetrics will evolve to activate actually the management of case feed?
Yeah,
fleet, not feed.
Fleets, yes.
Feed is later.
Maybe first, what do we mean with case? And this is in the aftermarket industry, or at least for us as ZF Aftermarket, a little bit the North Star. Yeah? Case, what does that mean? Connected, automated, shared, and electrified. And this is a little bit, that are the global megatrends that we are seeing in the aftermarket industry. And we want to really dig into every of those. Each of those really pillars in our aftermarket when it comes to our products and our services. Yeah? And we heard here today, telematics is all about connectivity, yeah? And how can we connect different kinds of vehicles in the aftermarket industry, and not only the vehicles, but also, for example, workshops. Yeah? When something happens to a truck, when something is with the engine, yeah? The mill goes on and the driver sees it. Yeah? This is the today. The future is really that in the depot, in the workshop, they are seeing, oh, something is going on with my truck. Yeah? And then they can prepare everything to reduce the downtime to a maximum. Yeah? This is one example. Yeah? But also, on the other hand, when we are seeing what is going on in the electrified world, not only for pass cars, but also for buses. We as ZF, we are thinking that the pass car and also the buses, we see in the world it will be crazy how fast the electrification will go on. And for example, we are connecting the bus, the electrified bus. You can see in the depot, the operator can see really what is the status of the battery. But we can also connect the charging stations, yeah? And we can bring those ecosystems really together. And this is the stuff that we want to do when we are talking about connectivity. But also in the other fields like automated, this means really, and we saw it today and yesterday, for example, what is going on in the industry, but also in the shared industry when it comes to how can we save our planet, how can we share our vehicles that are normally for 23 hours, at least the pass cars are in a garage or in a parking slot and not driving, yeah? And also the electrification, and I said something for that. Yeah? And I think we as ZF Aftermarket, we want to do that journey together with our customers. We want to partner. We are searching for partners, not only in the automotive industry, but also new players, really startups, really technology companies, because we as ZF want to be the front runner when it comes to digitalization and to digital services together with our customers.
And again, you're back in your passion. I really love that. Big words. No, you bring it to a point. It will be crazy, but you're using actually the unsafe and the unsafe time, and everything is changing, but you use it for your business. This is excellent. But Susanna, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the interesting developments. What does it actually mean for workshops and fleets?
Yes, so as we were just saying, all of us, that more and more vehicles connected. This is already ongoing revolution in the logistic industry, and this will have very big direct impact on the workshops, because the workshop, their customers are the fleet. So this will first generate new revenue streams for the workshops. They will have new ways to serve their customers, the fleet. As Florian was just mentioning, a workshop in Germany, if there is a problem with a German fleet and the driver has a breakdown in Spain, they don't need to go and look in the future for a workshop in Spain, because the workshop in Germany will be able really to automatically, in real time and remotely, to know what's going on with the vehicle, how bad is that, can he continue driving or he should stop immediately, what kind of pieces he needs, and they can already order it. So this is bringing complete new level of services to the workshop that I truly believe they will take big advantage out of it to serve their own customers as well.
Yeah, sounds like a good partnership with a lot of support from your side. So it is all about the partnership. And thank you very much. That was a really nice talk with a lot of passion from all of you. So thank you very much, Susanna Perrier, Florian Freund, and Benoit. This
is perfect now.
Now perfect?
Absolutely.
Good. So then now it's time for Claire Jones. And I'm also really excited about that, because she's the Chief Commercial Officer of What 3 Words. Claire, are you there? And when you are here, where exactly are you in the world?
Hi, yes, I'm in London at Phil Camp Soak, which is our What 3 Words address in London.
Wow. Hey, Claire, you are explaining us the new geocode, is that right? Maybe just tell us a little bit more about it. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking about What Three Words, and basically we designed a global address system. So I wanted to give you a bit of an introduction to What Three Words and how it works. So if I can get the slides up, then I can tell you a little bit about it. Thank you very much. It's amazingly smooth being able to do this. I wish I was there in real life, but doing it over Zoom is not so bad these days. Yeah, so basically, I know some of you will know What Three Words already, but just I'm going to tell you a little bit about the problem that we're solving, very relevant to the conversation that was just going on actually about optimization, particularly for fleet as well. So the way that people move and the way that things move has changed quite radically in the last kind of 10, 20 years. We didn't used to do things on our phones. We didn't used to order taxis to come to us on our phones. We didn't used to plan our journey on our phone and send it to our car. We didn't used to order our pizza on our phones. And of course, that has changed massively in the last few years. We've become really digital about how we're doing these things. We're ordering online, we're using ride hailing, we're sending information to our car from our phone or our smart devices at home. So the world looks pretty different to how it used to look when we used to use maps. And I'm just about the right age to remember the days when my parents used to be navigating and they had big paper maps that we kept in the back pocket of the front seat of the driver's seat in the car. And we would have these big maps that someone would have to read when they were driving around. Now, of course, that's not how we use maps anymore. Very few of us, I think, now take big paper maps with us, maybe sometimes, but very few of us. Most of us now use maps on our devices, on our phones, on our computers. That's generally how we use maps. And the problem with that is that as those maps have improved, and those maps improve all the time, they improve daily, the maps that we use, the address system that we use, the way that you set your destination, that system was actually designed a long time before devices existed, before phones and smartwatches and smart glasses and cars that you could talk to. The address system was designed a few hundred years before any of that. And so what that means is as the maps and the devices get more and more digital about how they're taking us to places, how they're delivering goods and people, the address system sort of breaks. There are breakpoints and it just doesn't work as well as it should because they weren't designed to be digital. Addresses were not designed in a digital age. And of course, right now, this is in a world where if you get lost, you're actually being told not to spend lots of time talking to other people. This is a world in which certainly I feel very nervous these days of talking to strangers, of coming close to people. I don't want to be dropped the wrong side of a hospital. If I'm going to get my vaccine, I don't really want to be at the side of the hospital where somebody is getting a COVID test, for example. That's just one example of it. And so we feel in the last kind of year or so that actually getting to the right place has become more important than ever. So it used to be important, but in the last year, we've seen as we've tried to manage the flow of people in environments, in public spaces, in big venues, we really care about showing up at exactly the right place. And the problem is that street addresses right now often don't do the best job at showing up in exactly the right place. So if you have a big building with multiple entrances, like a hospital, it can be really hard to explain where exactly you want to go because there's one postal address, right? And if you're going to put something into your car, you put in one postal address and you're not going to show up at the right ward, the right entrance where the COVID vaccination pop-up site is. So it's time that we had something a little bit better than this kind of, I'll get you to the right area, but I won't get you to exactly the right place. So, and this is also something we see with delivery. So we've certainly seen this in the UK and in Europe that as COVID happened, more and more people were starting to get home deliveries of all kinds, not just food, but e-commerce was having this boom as well. And again, if you are trying to do a contact-free delivery and you're expecting the driver to drop something on your doorstep, or at least show up at your door, it'd be really helpful if you could tell the driver where the door is, not just where the building is, and not just, if you're in a rural area, sometimes they won't even be able to find the building. I grew up in a house which was in a village. It didn't have a number, just had a name. Actually shared a name with another house in the village. Drivers still get lost. If I try and get a taxi to my parents' house, they still get lost. So this is frustrating for drivers. And the previous panel were talking about optimizing and reducing downtime. And if you think about how much wastage there is, if you think about all those millions and millions of deliveries a day we're doing in Europe, and how much of that time a driver might be lost in the final mile, looking for the right entrance, going to the wrong entrance, getting back in the van, having to drive it around a one-way system and park again, all of that lost time and all of that used up fuel that drivers are doing because they can't find the exact location, the exact door, the exact entrance, the exact delivery entrance that's got the elevator on it. So there's lots of wastage because addresses don't quite work as well as they should. And even in our cars, one of the things that, despite the fact that cars are incredibly intelligent these days and they're computers on wheels, people are still often using their phone to navigate, even often when they've paid for a lovely navigation system in the car, but they end up going back to using their phone to navigate because they don't trust that the car is going to take them to exactly the right place. And part of that is tied up with voice. So as we're trying to communicate with our cars and say, take me to this location, find me coffee, turn up the music, I'm cold, turn up the heating, all of those things with voice, they don't really work so well with street addresses. So they work okay for like, find me coffee, take me to Starbucks, those things are fine. But once you start using your voice for street addresses, there's loads of problems and there's loads of reasons it doesn't understand you properly. And I like this tweet because this exemplifies a lot of this for me. This is somebody who's using Alexa for their shopping list. And the shopping list is written down loose leaf Hamberry teeth. Now, as a human, I can guess that was probably loose leaf cranberry tea. I drink tea, so I'm inclined to think it's that. But the problem here is the machine has understood them and it's written it down, but it's made a mistake. But there's no instant, easy way to correct that mistake. And that's exactly the experience many of us have with addresses and voice. So if you put in an address and it doesn't hear you properly, it mixes up some of the words, it doesn't hear you, and it tries to navigate you to the wrong place. That's a frustrating experience, and you often will end up back on your phone. And all kinds of reasons for this. One is this, I mean, any of you who've been to the UK, we've got a very strange way of pronouncing a lot of our street names and place names. If you're from the UK, you know that you say this Worcestershire. If you're not from the UK, you'd be forgiven in saying it lots of other ways. Worcestershire isn't necessarily the immediate way you'd say it. And of course, if you're driving a car and you've got to program that car to understand every street name, every address, every place in different accents. And, you know, in this case, should I program it to understand Worcestershire, but also Worcestershire, Worcestershire, every possible way I might say that, it gets incredibly complicated. And so voice doesn't work very well with addresses either. And in this world that we're going to now, a world of human-machine interaction, the whole idea for us was you should probably have an address system that's designed for that moment, that human-machine interaction. So it's time for a universal address system. It should work the same everywhere you go. So if you stay in an Airbnb in Japan or I come to visit you in Germany, I shouldn't get lost because I can't understand the system or I don't speak the language. I should be able to use it for drone deliveries or going to a beautiful spot on a mountain that might not have an address. And of course, there is a universal address system, and it looks like this. This is GPS coordinates. Now, this is perfect in loads of ways. It's highly unique. It's highly accurate. Every spot in the entire world, every beach, every mountain, every entrance to every building has got one of these addresses, a GPS coordinate. The problem is, if I say to somebody, hi, meet me at 25 degrees, 9 minutes, 40.918, etc., they're probably not going to enjoy typing that into their phone or even speaking it. Lots of people don't even know where the degree sign is on your phone. So this doesn't really work for the human bit. It works for the machines, but the humans can't communicate in long strings of numbers like this. So we wanted to take this and make it human friendly. So what we did is we divided the whole world into a grid of squares like this. So every 3 meter square in the whole world has been pre-assigned an address made of 3 words from the dictionary. So you can see here, this entrance is Thread Strollers Bumble. And I can say, navigate to that location, and that is totally unique. There are 57 trillion of these squares in the world, and every single one is totally unique. So you know you're actually going to get to the right place, the right entrance, the right door, the right spot on the beach for your yoga class. So this parking space, Pirate Gather Daisy. That's the exact location of that parking space, and that is completely unique. And if we look at this behind the scenes, it's a GPS coordinate. So it's a GPS coordinate that can be used to navigate to anywhere in the world. It's just a human-friendly version. So I use 3 words and I can find exact location. So you can see here in 48 languages so far. So every square has an address in all these different languages. They're not translations. They're completely unique. Each system is independent of each other, and you can navigate to that square in whichever language you like. So if I was visiting Japan, I would still use English as the language to navigate. And you can download the app and use it right now. It's free. It works all over the world. You can use it to get deliveries. You can use it to tell your friends where you live. You can use it to find your Airbnb in the middle of the mountains. So everywhere in the world has already been done, and you can use it in 48 languages with more on the way. In car world, this has been built into millions of cars around the world. Mercedes is one example. You can get in your car. You can say, hey, Mercedes, what 3 words, sunroof, mole, jingles, and it will understand you and it will navigate you to that exact 3 meter square. So really straightforward. 3 words and you get to that exact destination, no problem. It can understand you and it takes you to that exact location. We're working with companies like Here Maps, TomTom and Mapbox. So you can have what 3 words integration into any map, whether it's in a car, in a logistics setting, in a fleet, a route optimization app, whatever it is, you can have what what 3 words in there. And we're working with car companies in different ways. So some of these are our customers. We've also got car company investors like Subaru, Mercedes and SAIC. So the world of mobility has been embracing what 3 words for quite a while. People are using it in their cars to navigate. And you use it just like a normal address. So this was an example in lockdowns in the UK. The rule in the UK for a long time was that you could only meet people outside in one-to-one. So I was going for a lot of walks outside and I was able to meet people like this. So for example, we just shared this address. So at 11 a.m. we were going to meet at Select Drums Work. I actually use my smartwatch to navigate. So I speak the 3-word address into my watch and then I get a little arrow that directs me to that exact location. This is St. Paul's Cathedral in London. But instead of saying, I'll meet you under the big tree near St. Paul's, there are quite a lot of those, I was able to show up at that exact location. You can see here, that's me taking a photo of where I'm standing in that exact 3-meter square. And I could meet my friends like that. So that's the idea, is you use it just like a normal address. It's really, really straightforward. But it's not just about navigation and it's not just about deliveries, which you can use to get to your front door and make sure that your pizza arrives hot and you don't have to phone the driver and say, where are you? And the driver says, I can't find your door. It's also about really important things like emergencies. So in the UK, in Germany, in South Africa, in the US, lots of places, what 3 words is now used as part of the emergency call systems for many emergency services. So actually for the last kind of 3-4 years, what 3 words has been used in rescues. We see a lot of these over the last few years on Twitter, people saying what 3 words was used to help rescue someone in a motorcycle accident, putting out a fire. This happens every day around the world. We hear from people who've used what 3 words, because if you're in an emergency and for some reason your phone isn't able to transmit its location automatically, you can simply speak the 3 words and in the call center they can type those into their control system and find you exactly where you are and no problem finding you or locating you. Equally, it can be used for hospitals. So this is a hospital in the UK and you can see all of the different entrances for ambulances, for different types of appointments, for deliveries. They all have different entrances with what 3 words, so you can navigate a big campus, any big event, any big stadium, any big campus. And even in the last couple of weeks, we saw this incredible tweet about sometime last week when somebody had said they'd been using what 3 words in rescues in Afghanistan as well. So it's a pretty incredible thing seeing that this is now out in the world. We didn't even know about this until somebody tweeted it. The app is there, it's being used all kinds of ways. It's being used to do drone deliveries. So for example, in the UK, we did a project with Royal Mail to do their first drone delivery in the UK, and they used what 3 words to make sure that the drone came to exactly the right place outside this lighthouse. But from drone deliveries to rescues in Afghanistan to emergency services, right through to delivering pizza, making sure you meet your friends in the right place for a picnic in the park. It's used in all kinds of ways. And that's the idea, to create a global standard for addresses so that nobody has to get lost anymore.
Claire, I am totally blowing away. This is super cool. I can imagine that that is something totally normal for you. When I'm calling you, hey, babe, where are you? You're like, I'm at Sausage House Shoes. Is that something totally normal for you already?
Absolutely. You get used to it much quicker than you think. At the beginning, the words sound strange, and then very soon you stop realizing it. It just becomes wonderful that you found each other.
Wow, this is so cool. I would definitely start talking like that. Where are you? That's super cool. Thank you very much. Hopefully see you next year here then in Germany. And thanks again. And for you guys, we see us later with a lot of different and also interesting themes.